dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Dooby da, dooby dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Dooby da, dooby dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Dooby da, dooby dooby da, dooby dooby dub dub.
Dun 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 dun.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
A can of soda and be like, how quickly does this go? What is the process?
And we are now live on the Wicked Horror Show, powered by the Dorkening Podcast Network. And with us today, we have, if my button works, Kevin.
I'm assuming your button worked?
It did.
All right, cool.
Yo.
Hooray for buttons. Hey.
Yeah. Tony.
What is going on, people?
And our very, very special guest of the evening, Mr. Andy Palmer.
Hello, everyone out in the interwebs universe.
It's awesome having you back.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had you on once before for Funhouse Massacre.
Yes, thank you for the plug, Tony. I appreciate it. Screenfactory.com. But no, yeah, it's so good to be back. And like I said, the last time I had to do it by phone, so I'm glad I get to be on with you guys this time around. And thanks for having me back.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Tony had brought it up, and he's like, "Oh, he's got something new coming out, and it looks awesome." I'm like, "All right, yeah, do it up."
Sweet.
So yeah, the new movie you have is Camp Cold Brook. It was new, like being released, but you did it a couple years ago. We
did. We shot it. Yeah, we shot it in the summer, I think, of 2017. And you know, as movies tend to be, you navigate the road of distribution and everything like that. But we're super excited it's out, and the cast is great. We got Chad Michael Murray, we got Danielle Harris, who's incredible. A couple Funhouse returnees, Mikey Reed and Candace DeVisser, and Courtney Gaines. And then the kind of crux of it all is our executive producer is Joe Dante. So we got to work with the man himself for a while. Which
yeah,
was
that. I was like looking at it, I'm like, what? I'm like, is it someone else with the name Joe Dante? And
yeah,
like,
no, it was
no,
him.
it's Joe Dante.
I screened the rough cut of this film in his home theater with gremlins like on the wall, like life-size gremlins on the wall, with him sitting next to me and me just absolutely just sweating fucking bullets, man.
He's watching the movie and he just looks and he's just like staring at him like, huh?
Dude, it was so, like everything. I would like peek over and then I'd look back at the movie, and he was so cool because we got done with the movie and he goes, well, it looks hell of a lot better than it had any right to at that budget. And I was like, well, I can't ask for much more compliment than that, you know. So
yeah, that's pretty crazy. How did that all come to be?
Well, it was actually Funhouse Massacre. So when Funhouse came out, my manager just started like throwing it out to different production companies and stuff like that. And then Joe's partner, Mark Allen, they were doing this kind of series of Joe Dante Presents. You know, Joe came up through Roger Corman, and Corman was a training ground for directors. And you look at the guys that have come out of there, Ron Howard and James Cameron, and all these guys. And Joe's kind of recognizes that's not a thing anymore. That idea for young filmmakers to be able to kind of make smaller budget movies and build their way up and stuff like that. And not that I'm young anymore, but yeah, so they were doing this Joe Dante Presents thing, and so Mark had seen Funhouse and liked it, and then he said, if you have a project that you love, bring it to us. And I had found Camp Coldbrook through my manager, and I just thought it would be perfect. Like it had enough of the kind of the innocence of the kids of the Dante sort of feel to it and stuff like that. But I like that it was this ghost story at a summer camp as opposed to more of a slasher movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, just want to remind everybody, we're talking about the movie Camp Coldbrook, which comes out on VOD February 14th and is out for pre-order right now. There's a link down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Anthony Thurber says, hello. Justin Cooper also says, hey, guys. Angela's in the chat room. She says, hey, hey. And if you have any questions about indie filmmaking or the movie at all, just post them in the comments, and we'll make sure we get them to Andy. And, Andy, we do have a trailer.
Cool.
Would you like to introduce the trailer?
Yeah, so this is the theatrical trailer for Camp Coldbrook. I hope you guys dig it.
There we go.
Look, Jack, it's been a great run. 3 seasons in TV is saying something nowadays. Reality TV just doesn't have the legs right now.
We're on the cusp of something really big. We're about to shoot it now.
What is it?
We produce one ball-busting, scare the living out of our audience episode.
I say we do Winchester House.
No way. Place is lame.
What the hell is wrong with you? This is it. We are all out on our asses if we don't come up with something big.
I have one. It's a camp. It's called Coldbrook.
So the official police report is apparently this woman, she went into the camp one night and she poisoned and drowned everybody.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
That place is marked.
What do you mean by marked?
Haven't seen one ghost, but hey, it's been out.
Right.
Cheers.
Everybody around here seems to think it's best just left in the past.
All right, folks, let's do this. We got a lot to do. Let's get her done. Let's make this home base.
You got no cell phone service up here. So once we're gone, you're on your own.
We're in trouble now.
We may have some.
Oh my God.
It's all just hysteria and superstition.
You know what we did!
We can't just leave.
You need to listen to me, okay? It's not worth it.
I say we burn the damn place down and we walk out together.
I got too much riding on this. We all do.
There we go. That was the trailer for Camp Coldbrook, out on VOD February 14th and taking pre-orders right now on Amazon. Coming out by Scream Factory, correct?
That's correct. I think it's like technically this one is a Shout Studios release, but all the same parent company and everything like that. Yep, they're all together. Yeah, but no, Scream took really good care of us with Funhouse Massacre, and we were happy to go back. Cliff McMillan, who we work with, and Michael Rebus over there are pretty awesome. So we were excited to get to hang out with those guys again for sure.
Yeah, it's a great company. I mean, I don't know that part of it, but I know that part of it. I got a bunch on my wall, and it's quality.
Well,
it's like
they just love movies. You know, that's the thing is they're purists, and you know, I remember having lunch with Cliff when they were doing why am I blanking? The Exorcist 3, with the Blatty cut and everything like that, and him like literally like in the archives at Warner Brothers, like all he could find was like a VHS copy of one of the director cuts, and he's like, so we just took it and we just started cutting it in, you know, like I mean, it was just like the stuff they do for those extras is really awesome.
Yeah, and the one thing I like about them too is it's like, you know, like Criterion obviously puts out some amazing stuff, but they're so expensive, so they're kind of unapproachable to a lot of film buffs, you know.
Yeah, once a year you can do the 50% off at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, But, you know, but with Scream and Shout Factory, it's you know, it's the prices are always decent and they're quality. The features are awesome. A lot of them always have, like, not always, but a lot of them have like really cool slip covers and also some posters and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, they were really cool with Funhouse in the realm of like we had when Tony showed the artwork, that was artwork that we had done for our theatrical release. But it's one of those things like they have to answer to the Walmarts and the Red Boxes of the world, and those companies want a very specific type of artwork and stuff like that. And Cliff was like, listen, I know you're not crazy about Rocco's face just plastered on there and it looks like, you know, several other horror movies. So why don't we'll do a reverse cover and yours can be on there and people can kind of choose one they want. And I was like, oh, you guys are awesome. Like that, like just to kind of give a shit about the filmmakers is huge, you know?
Yeah, it's awesome. So you didn't write this one. You said that it was a, you know, so your manager brought it to you.
Yeah.
It's like, this is obviously different than Funhouse Massacre. Like, otherwise, like, you know, the genre of horror and everything. Are you a fan of this kind of stuff?
I mean, I definitely gravitate towards the comedy, towards horror and horror comedies and stuff like that. But like, I really wanted to take this. I thought it was a really scary story. It was a kind of a fresh take on stuff. I came up in reality television and reality and editing, and I still edit reality shows and stuff like that. So that idea of like a ghost hunting team on the verge of collapse, and you know, like that kind of behind the scenes, that drew me in a lot. So what I wanted to take that script and then also kind of Danteify it in a way. There's definitely like a little bit more of like tongue in cheek humor in there and stuff like that. So I still got to add my mark, and I like that challenge of trying to create suspense and do a kind of classic horror story. So yeah, so I had read the script that Alex Carl wrote, and then he and I worked on. We decided pretty early on that we wanted to work with Dante's company, and so my producing partner went out to raise money, and then Alex and I started kind of catering the script to make it feel more like something like an ode to Joe. I always liked that what Joe did with, like, when you watch Gremlins and you see Rockin' Ricky Rialto and he's in the Temple of Doom out, you know, billboard and stuff like I wanted to do that. So when you watch Coldbrook, there's probably, I think there's like 15 or 16 subtle nods to Joe in there. There's like lines from some of his movies, and there's I mean, when they're going to Coldbrook, they're listening to the radio. The DJ's name is Ricky Rialto, and like so we took a lot of like love. You know, I put Courtney Gaines in the movie, who I love, who was in The Burbs, and stuff like that. So it was fun to, like, you know, pepper in those little things.
Yeah. So you say you work on reality TV as well? That's
that still
like
pays, still pays the bills, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it varies. I did $1 Million Listing. I'm doing a Michael Jackson documentary coming up in a month and stuff like that. So I still get a huge gamut of stuff, but it's, you know, keeps me sharp.
Yeah. Have you ever worked on a paranormal show?
Ironically, no, and it's so strange. There's a ton, and I apply for them all the time, but I don't know if, like, if they see the crossover to features and they're like, you know, especially like I actually kind of learned the hard way that like I had to like on my resume take directing off when I was applying for an edit job, is like take any directing credits off, because I think people see that and they're like, oh, this asshole, and so like you know, they kind of exist in two different worlds. So I haven't had luck, but I did get to last year, and it crushed my heart that it didn't get picked up. I directed and edited a pilot for CMT, for Country Music Television of all places, but they wanted to like reboot that MTV show Fear.
Oh yeah,
and so we did this awesome pilot called Stay Alive, and basically we took the bones of Fear, and then I went in and made it more like a movie. And so like we did all the kind of live stuff, and I had plasma screens and all these RoboCams, and the kids were all cammed up and stuff like that. And then what I would do is I would go in after they were done, and I would then like go and shoot it kind of more cinematically, and then we married the two together, and the show was awesome. It was so much fun. But you know, the powers that be, you know, there's all sorts of stuff.
Like, we don't have any pickup trucks.
Right. Well, that was the idea. It was like we shot it in LA, but the idea was like make it Southern Gothic when it gets picked up and stuff like that. And it really had nothing to do with CMT. Loved it. It just had stuff to do with with parent companies and all this kind of stuff. But the show was super fun.
Like I Fear scared the crap out of me.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I did back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Like that was terrifying.
It was, and it was like we were in this real asylum. And the thing that was creepy is we were in this big hospital. We shot the whole thing in this hospital, but the entire town, which is now a huge film, like it's like a huge film lot, but the entire town was like a mental, like it was like built for people with mental problems and stuff like that. So there's practical houses, there's like a research hospital, there's the big hospital that we were shooting in, and it was like at night it was creepy because it was 3 stories. I mean, it was huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. No pun intended.
Right.
But
sure it wasn't.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Are you sure it wasn't intended?
Yeah,
it really wasn't. Like as I was saying, I'm like, whatever.
It works.
There were some nights where we were like setting up and lighting, and I was like, it was just super creepy down there.
But like the one thing I couldn't help but think of it, and you know, just because I'm like myself and Leo were fans of like ghost hunters and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's like they kind of, you know, things kind of fell apart for ghost hunters, and they had to split things up, and you know, and I just like I wonder if any of this is like you know, kind of like, oh yeah, this is kind of what happened with these guys. You know,
I mean, they're definitely like, because I haven't worked on any of those shows specifically, but there's a lot of like commonalities, these conversations that you have and stuff like that. And that was the one thing that I was able to bring, because Alex had, you know, sort of limited experience with that. But those ideas of like sitting around the round table and being like, hey, what are we going to do next? What's our next show and stuff like that. And the idea of like pressure from the network to deliver and all those things were things that I've definitely experienced. And so that was fun to sort of bring to life, and for, you know, Chad's character Jack to like throw this Hail Mary and be like, we got this great episode, and have really not have anything, you know? Yeah, you just do that all the time.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
Like how he was like convincingly pitching it, I thought it was going to be like he had something already.
Really had something planned.
Right.
Yeah. It's like
not to give too much away about the movie.
Right. No, yeah. Spoil. Make sure.
But you know, from there, like when they get there, that's when things start to get crazy.
Right. So I wanted to create this idea that like when they've been doing this so much that they don't really, like, you know, when they arrive, and this isn't giving anything away, they're setting up, they're drinking around the campfire. Like for them, it's just like they're so used to not seeing anything that like they don't really notice stuff at first. You know, it takes a while for them to start believing what is happening. You know.
Yeah, so even if you're a fan of those kind of shows, I would say that's worth checking this out just for that too. You know, like
right.
And then the one thing, you know, I have to say is that, like myself, I mean, I was actually part of a group for a while. Like we would go out and investigate.
Oh, nice.
You don't see anything. Like it's crazy. Like it was always after the fact.
Yeah.
But it did feel kind of like legit in that sense. But like the effects that you used to portray it. Like that I was telling you the first scene with Danielle Harris where it's like the first like jump in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving my car and I had it on like on my dashboard, and I was like, I got to shut this off because I'm gonna get into an accident.
Right, yeah, and that seems fun, and I was it was fun in the realm of that particular take that's in the movie. There was actually a thunder clap that happened, like you couldn't have timed it better, and that is actually Danielle not being scared from the gag, but being scared from the thunder. And I just remember her she just jumped out of the chair, and the way she gets out, like she kind of wiggles out and stuff like that, because we had 2 cameras on her. I was like, you couldn't have made that up if you tried. Like that was her jumping up, and the thunder was so loud. So it was a kind of a happy accident shooting in Oklahoma City that summer.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Tony.
I was just gonna say I loved her in the scene with the swings.
Yeah.
When she's filming. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and Danielle Harris is like, you guys know, she's just one of the best actors. You just like you don't as a director, there's very little you have to do. She just immediately gets in this mindset. She makes always just the most interesting choices, and you'll see there's a big scare with her in that scene, and she had a lot of input into that. Like she's like, what if we tried this? What if we did this? And to have on these movies that are not huge budgets and stuff like that, to have and her and Chad were both of that ilk, where they came in and it wasn't just a paycheck to them or anything like that. They came in, they were always prepared. They had ideas. We incorporated this and that. I mean, it's you feel really blessed as a director to have that kind of that kind of camaraderie with actors like that.
Mm.
Yeah, because once I saw it, I saw the trailer first, and I'm like, I'm excited for this movie, and then I saw like who was in it. Just knowing her being because you look at it, she's like one of the scream queens.
Yeah.
And you look at it, and it just seems like I met her at conventions and stuff, and it's just like she has that horror bug in her, where it seems like she just takes every role seriously and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like everything she does, she made movies and stuff. So I'm sure besides just meeting her at a con, that's all I know. But I'm sure having her on set and whatever, it makes it that much easier because she wants to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And just and she had just had her son like 5 months. Like she had kind of taken a hiatus because she had just had her son. So we were one of the first movies that was back and stuff like that. And I think also for us, it's like we create a really nice atmosphere on set for everybody. I'm a very calm director because I came up in editing and stuff like that. Like I don't get flustered when acts of God and wind and lightning shut us down and stuff like that. You compartmentalize. You strip down some shots. Oh, we'll do this and that. And so as long as you're relaxed, the actors always kind of feel taken care of and relaxed. And and that was it. And we just had a great time back and forth. And there were literally a couple nights where we got shut down because of lightning. We couldn't have the lights on at night and stuff like that with lightning nearby. And we all hunkered down in the room that they're in. They're kind of we call it the director cottage. The room next door was the production office, and we all sat around and played cards, and it was very camp like. Let me put it that way.
You'd mentioned earthquakes as well.
I think there were 4 earthquakes in Oklahoma City while I was there. It was pretty eerie, yeah, for sure. So that more in a concentrated amount of time than I ever experienced in LA.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You need something?
I was just going to say, we were just talking about her. Kimberly Hahn is in the chat room.
Oh, Kimberly.
Hey! There she is. I remember her from last time.
Yeah. That's all.
Did she say anything?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Not yet.
What's she saying?
Yeah, just
enjoying this?
Come on, Kim, ask a question. So what was it like working with Chad? I only know him. I mean, my wife's a fan because of
The Hill.
Yeah.
Actually, don't let him fool you. He's a big fan.
Well, no. Well, the thing is, I know this dude can act. I've seen the show, and it just the plot lines weren't anything that I was all about. But I'm like, obviously, the show ran for as long as it did because it was a quality show.
Yeah.
And the dude, he can act his balls off.
Yeah, he's a very good actor. He's a very talented actor. He came into the process late. We actually had a really hard time casting Jack. We had gone out to a bunch of different actors, and there was money issues, and truthfully, like, we didn't think we were going to get somebody of his caliber and stuff like that. And our casting director recommended him, and the moment he recommended him, I was like, yeah, what can we do to make this happen? And we were lucky enough to make it happen. But Chad literally showed up about 3 days before we shot, so he didn't have a lot of time to prep, and he loves prepping and stuff like that. So he and I kind of sat down, intense for a day, went through the part, changed this and that. And even on set, we made adjustments here and there. So he's very involved. But you watch, guys, I love working with television actors because they do it so often, because the repetition is there. You just see how good they are at, like, never missed a mark, always knew where the camera was, always knew where the light was, always just made the correct choices. And I'll never forget, there was a scene that in the conference room when they're kind of pitching the shows, and he's given Kevin Mikey Reed some shit, and he does this kind of like smile thing at the end. He's like, yeah, so then he's like, so you can fill out your unemployment paperwork at the game, and he gives him this kind of smile. And I remember looking over from Video Village of the script supervisor and there was a makeup department, and they're watching the monitor, and the girls just kind of like melted. He just did this thing, and they just like this big sign. You're like, that's a fucking movie star right there.
Yeah,
that's a star. Yeah. That's what a star does right there. And so. But he was cool.
Has he done horror before? Like, I don't.
House of Wax, right?
Oh, okay.
Wax, yeah, and I think
I didn't bother to watch that because of someone else that was in it.
Oh, dude, it's fun. You should watch it. It's really
all right.
good. And if you guys are, and this is not a lot of people know this, and this is because I am a Rad super fan. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the BMX movie Rad.
Back in the day.
The Reynolds twins, Rod and Rex, the two guys that were on Bart Connor's team, they wrote House of Wax.
Huh.
Yep. So there you go. Even if you're not a fan of Paris Hilton, if you're a fan of the Reynolds twins, Rod and Rex,
you knew exactly who I was talking
get
about.
in there. Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. I didn't have to say who it was.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we know.
Yeah, it was
No, he's great, man.
Early 2000s, like, I wouldn't even call it like it's entertainment for what it is.
Yeah. No, it's fun, but they got good kills. Like, it's a solid movie.
Well, when she dies, it's just like.
It's a good kill. It's a good death scene, but yeah. And then I think he did haunting in Connecticut too and stuff. So he's no stranger to the genre. He gets the genre for sure.
I guess I just haven't been paying attention.
Also, Riverdale, that could be considered kind of
100%. A lot of like horror elements in that, yeah. And he's been having fun. I think he's been having fun on that show too. So yeah, he's a good dude, man. I really enjoyed the process of working with them, and like I said, he just always prepared. Came 3 days out and was off book on the first day. And that when you're we call him number one on the call sheet. When number one on the call sheet comes prepared, and it elevates everybody, and then everybody gets prepared, and it just sets a nice tone for shooting the movie. This is the first movie ever that we finished days early. Like, we'd be like, I guess that's it for the day, and like we'd wrap up an hour early or something like that. And in the movies, that's unheard of. I mean, on Funhouse, we knew it was 4:30 a.m. because the birds would start chirping. We were like, shit, we got to get all these things. We have 7 shots to get. The sun's coming up, and like every day was this race to get everything done. So it was nice to on Coldbrook to have a tight crew that like we didn't stress a lot.
Be well rested.
Yeah, everybody felt good.
Nice full night of sleep.
Yeah, as much as we could. We were still shooting nights, so you're still
rising.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good time. And we had a couple poisonous snakes that showed up on set, which was a good time. But we had this medic. His name was Vinay, and Vinay, he took care of snakes. He was a snake. He was our snake wrangler. He was awesome.
Take care of him like Leo takes care of snakes with an axe.
I don't want to say, but there may have been a belt or two made from.
Wow.
Yeah.
Little side note: Leo's house he used to live in, it was infested with snakes.
You had something infested with snakes?
With 2 hatchets. And just
it was my old parents' old farmhouse, and when I came back from Florida, I lived there for a bit. And it's my dad passed a long time ago, so there wasn't too much upkeep, and
sure.
So I hear this crashing in the back room, and I go there. There's these two huge snakes. They're probably about 6 feet long, and they're mating.
Oh
they're
my
all
God!
Intertwined, thrashing about. And then after that, it was just the snakes galore. It was I was killing.
Yeah, there was one time I was over your house and I left, and then like I wasn't even at the end of your street. And you texted me a picture, and where I was standing, like right above where I was standing, there was one in the rafter.
I literally couldn't. I couldn't have banged in the "for sale by owner" sign fast enough had that shit happen.
I could have banged in the gas and lighter. And just
Yeah. The days will wash. Erase the hard drives. Burn the house down.
I was killing about a dozen a summer.
Oh my! Yeah. No, you're a braver man than I.
Yeah.
Nope. No.
By the way, Kimberly says hi, and
Hello.
She said, "Oh, stop, LOL." And also for the people just joining us, we're talking about Camp Coldbrook, which is out on VOD February 14th. And you can actually pre-order the physical media right now. There's a link down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And for the new people joining us, we should play the trailer again. And we also have a Father Evil Deadly Grounds ad. So Camp Coldbrook, like I said, link down below or up above. And here we go.
Right on.
Look, Jack, it's been a great run. 3 seasons in TV is saying something nowadays. Reality TV just doesn't have the legs right now.
We're on the cusp of something really big. We're about to shoot it now.
What is it?
We produce one ball-busting, scare the living out of our audience episode.
I say we do Winchester House.
No way. Place is lame.
What the hell is wrong with you? This is it. We are all out on our asses if we don't come up with something big.
I have one. It's a camp. It's called Coldbrook.
So the official police report is apparently this woman, she went into the camp one night and she poisoned and drowned everybody.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
That place is marked.
What do you mean by marked?
Haven't seen one ghost, but hey, it's been out.
Right. Cheers.
Everybody around here seems to think it's best just left in the past.
All right, folks, let's do this. We got a lot to do. Let's get her done. Let's make this home base.
You got no cell phone service up here. But once we're gone, you're on your own.
We're in trouble now.
You may have some.
Oh my God.
This is all just hysteria and superstition.
You know what we did!
We can't just leave.
You need to listen to me, okay? It's not worth it.
I say we burn the damn place down and we walk out together.
I got too much riding on this. We all do.
Shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
I'm just me, so it's like it's crazy when they remember me.
For sure.
It's like a community feel, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I love Kansas.
Totally. We are back. That was the trailer for Camp Coldbrook. And like I said before, link down below or up above. And also Deadly Grounds, our awesome sponsor. Makes the most amazing coffee you'll ever drink. And speaking of stocking up, I'm down to my last bag.
I haven't bought Deadly Grounds in a wicked long time because I've been waiting to buy I like to buy them from Tom directly because I like to talk to Tom. He's a good guy, and he's recently married. His wife is amazing as well. So it's like I like to go and like, hey, what's this? Whatever. Plus, you get to try all the stuff when you go.
What is this? Because I am a coffee lover. I'm at a coffee house. What is this coffee you speak of?
It's called Deadly Grounds. It's a small company out of Connecticut, but it's all like horror themed flavors. It's really, really good coffee though. Yeah.
Yes, it's not super caffeinated. It's not under caffeinated, but it's not like, you know how some of these coffees have like a caffeine taste.
Well, or like some of the coffees are like, hey, listen, legit, you may have a heart attack after you drink. Like it's like,
yeah.
Like,
So
there's some of these like micro companies are like, it's like based on a dare, you know?
Yeah,
that's cool.
He just focuses on flavor, which is just simply amazing. I've tried other flavored coffees like for chocolate and stuff like that, and nothing compares.
Yeah, there's a Death by Chocolate that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Witch's Brew.
Witch's Brew. Ugh.
Yeah, even
I want coffee.
A maple walnut that like in the fall, it's like that's all you can give maple walnut.
Man, I am up in that. I'm getting in on that.
Word.
Yep.
Matter of fact, Caroline Williams, when she knows he's going to be at the same con, she brings an extra suitcase just to bring coffee back.
Oh man. Yep. I need to get in on that. I'm gonna check your guys' website for that.
All right. So we haven't really heard much from Yo-Yo, and we heard a little bit from Tony. And let's hear from Leo as well, like as far as your thoughts on the movie, because it's not out yet.
I don't want to spoil anything. I already almost spoiled something before.
What you thought of the movie, and
I really liked it. Again, I've almost spoiled something before, and I don't want to spoil it for people. It's really good.
Oh, good. Wow. Did you guys pick up any of the? Did you guys pick up any of the Dante references in there?
I didn't, but I want to go back and try to. I mean, I didn't. Now that I know they're there, I'm gonna have to go back and try to find them. How many did you say there might be?
There's like 15 or 16 in there. I mean, there's a couple that are very obvious. Like we'll just say like the name of a couple of Joe's movies. But I borrowed a lot of there's like lines of dialogue from some of the movies. There's like definitely like references to we had like our costumer had there's some pieces of clothing or jewelry that might pop in a Dante movie and stuff like that. So yeah, there's definitely some nuggets in there for sure.
What did he think of that?
I think he liked it. The thing about Joe, I think the thing I love about Joe Dante more than anything is that he is not in love with his legend at all. He's very not impressed with himself, and so he's just, and so it's one of those things where I think he dug it, but I don't think he was oh, that's so cool, and stuff like that. He's really never mentioned anything to me about it, but I think talking to his producing partner Mark Allen, I think Mark said he appreciated it, because they had done another Joe Dante Presents movie. And I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, it's it was just kind of Joe Dante Presents in name only. And so, I think the fact that we tried our best to incorporate his universe into it and stuff like that, I hope he appreciated it. I enjoyed the hell out of doing it. So whether or not, I enjoyed the time. Yeah.
Leo, what did you think of the movie? You're a fan of Ghost Hunter shows and stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, it hooked me. I went in going. Let me try to speak again. I went in knowing absolutely nothing. I didn't see the trailer or anything like that. And as soon as I picked up that it's a ghost hunting type of movie, I was hooked. And it definitely left me with a creepy vibe. And like I said, the swing scene that sold it for me right there. That was just awesome.
Right on.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad.
I mean, watching, I got hooked with Funhouse Massacre, so I'm like, anything that you make now, I'm definitely going to watch. So Funhouse Massacre had more of a comedic feel to it with the horror and slide. This one had its parts. There was one part that I laughed, one scene with Danielle Harris, she's calling for the other characters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
One of the lines she uses, I'm like, okay, well I heard that.
I know that line, and that was 100% improv by her. So
really?
Yeah, she'll be stoked to know that. I was biting my lip behind the monitor when she said that, because it is hysterical. Yeah.
Because at that point, I'm like, if I heard that, I would come running. For sure.
I was gonna say the only thing that would have made that scene any better is if he just barged through the door.
Just halfway expecting.
He leaps through the window,
Right through the wall, Kool-Aid Man. Sorry.
So I got a question for you, and it sucks because I have my temporary glasses. My real ones got scratched up, so I had to get them fixed. But so things are a little blurry for me. And the scene when the guy fell into the lake.
Yeah.
I rewound it a couple times. It looked like you could see a reflection of somebody on the bridge. They're not on the bridge, but they're on a reflection.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I wasn't saying things.
I didn't notice that.
Nope.
Look at the eyes on Leo. Oof.
Yep. No,
Yeah,
that was definitely. There's some little subtle things like what we dropped in there and stuff like that. But that's a good catch for sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it wasn't my eyes.
I have to watch it again.
Yep. I think there's some good. We were talking. We were doing the DVD extras. The writer and I. And I think there's some good second viewings in there and stuff like that. I mean, literally just to find the Dante references, it's worth watching one more time. But I think there's some subtleties. I think we tried to lay the breadcrumbs pretty effectively and stuff like that. So.
Cool. Sergio in the chat room says, have you ever seen a real ghost or had any paranormal experiences?
No, I personally have not, and I think I would have a heart attack and just die if I did. But because I'm actually, keep this between you, me, and the millions watching this. But
millions.
I am terrified of scary movies. My wife won't go to scary movies with me because I wear baseball hats to scary movies, and when scary stuff happens, I just kind of go like this. Because I wasn't allowed to watch them as a kid, and so I think I love them for that, but also they still get me. But Alex Carl, the writer, this whole story happened because he was at this place called Coldbrook in upstate New York. His parents used to go with other families, and I didn't even know this. They would have these square dancing retreats. So the parents would go to the lodge, and they at night would do these very serious square dancing sort of things, and the kids were kind of left to run around the camp and do what they will. And he said they were in their camper trailer one night, and there was a legend of this witch that lived on the outskirts of the campground and stuff like that. And Alex swears that he looked out the window and she was just standing on the dock, and it terrified him. And he'd be, since he was 8 years old, he was kind of obsessed with this place. And stuff like that. So the story of Coldbrook's been rattling around in his brain since he was 8.
Nothing says upstate New York like square dancing.
Dude, I'm telling you, he said that they took it very seriously.
I can imagine. Yeah, they have nothing else to do up there. So.
Yeah.
So a little bit off subject of Camp
Square
Coldbrook.
dancing.
Yeah, square dancing.
Let's get back to square dancing.
Promenade. You have you said that you tend to lean more towards the horror comedy. You have another movie that are you done with it, or is it?
Yeah, it's done. We start our festival run at the Ha Comedy Arts Festival in San Antonio on February 22nd. It's called Witness Infection. It was a ton of fun to make. It was written by Carlos Alzraki from Reno 911 and Jill Michelle Melion from Mad TV. So good, good comedians right there, and it's a zomcom. So you can't go wrong with a good zombie comedy, and it's about these two mob families that get accidentally witness relocated to the same town, and they're always giving each other shit, and they're the only kind of Italian mob families in this entire city, so they stick out like sore thumbs, and so to create a peace between the two families, the son of the one family has to marry the daughter of the other. And in the midst of this wonky courtship, the zombie apocalypse breaks out, and so they have to survive that. So it's very off the wall, but we have a really good cast. Aaron Hayes from medical police. We have Carlos, obviously, he's in it. Rob Belushi is in it. Maurice Marsh from Pinky and the Brain. Tara Strong from the DC movies and stuff like that. So
she was a Powerpuff Girl.
She's a Powerpuff Girl. Yeah. Harley Quinn in all the DC movies. Yeah, awesome cast. And we had a lot of fun. Jim Ojala did all our makeup. He did Strange Nature about a year ago, and we got some good gore gags and stuff like that. So it's a blast. I'm excited for you guys to see that as well. And we start our festival run. We'll be at the Ha Festival in February, Horror Hound in March, and then keep on the festival track from there.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Can we get it at Scaricon?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Listen, let me know, man. Well, we'd love to put it in there for sure. Absolutely.
All right. That'll be an interesting make because all the time you voice actors, they could walk down the street and no one would have any idea who they are and what it. So putting them on the big screen. So now, unless I didn't see the movie, but if they use, anywhere close to maybe a voice that and you're like, oh, that must be that guy.
I tell you, like when you talk to Maurice, like you can like hear it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, how do I know this guy? Like, then he'll say either because he's also a bunch of voices on Futurama,
yeah,
stuff like that, and it's in, I don't know, like the dude's done so much, and it's just
they're just it's such an interesting skill set, and when we did, it was so funny. Like ADR is always the hardest part of a movie. Is like there's always inevitably something that gets dropped, or there's some sound that's a problem in a movie. So you do ADR at the end, and that's basically re-recording in a studio something that got lost in the live live filming of the movie, and then you bring in these voiceover actors to do ADR, and they literally to the millisecond, they'll say it exactly the same way, they say it exactly right. It was the easiest ADR session I've ever had in my life, because they're so attuned, they're so good at like
I would love just to sit there and watch it. Like I legit will find videos of people doing voiceovers and just watch that. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by it.
They're so funny. Well, and Carlos especially. Carlos is like, and because I think it too is like it was Carlos's movie, and he's in it, and he's he's just so energetic and stuff like that. But Carlos is just constantly in between takes, doing voices, doing this thing. And there was a couple times I had to like scold him. I'm like, Carlos, like he made a fart sound right during like a slate was coming down one, and I was just like, I'm trying to film your movie here, and you're making fart sounds when the clapper comes down. And now I can't sync that in audio. So
we have to sync the whole movie to farts.
Yeah, it is fun having.
When you said Strange Nature, like the makeup artist, we had like most of the cast from Strange Nature on.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
Jim directed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did all the makeup. He's awesome. Such a good guy, man. Yeah.
That was a little sad too, because she.
Yeah, it was. It was actually because Lisa Sheridan, like she.
Oh, trying. Yeah.
Like legit. We thought we were going to get one of them on. Lisa was on. Steven Tolborowski came on.
Yeah.
Carlos came on, and was it John Hennigan?
Yeah.
They all came on. We were like, I showed up and I was like, holy crap, all these people are here. This is crazy. Like, we thought one of them was going to come on. And then she passed shortly after.
Yeah.
Super sad. But she was great. Like, and the movie was awesome. So
the movie's cool. Yeah, no, Jim's a great guy. And I definitely want to work with him again, because he and his crew were they're incredible. Especially it was a tight budget, and the stuff that you guys, some of the gore gags are right on par with Funhouse, which had 3 times the budget.
Yeah. So it seems like, because you said like this one, Camp Coldbrook was like lower budget than Funhouse, and this one was even lower.
Yeah.
Like, are you just are you like whittling down the micro budget?
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like I feel very blessed in a realm of like I've never gotten to direct like a huge budget movie with all the luxuries and stuff like that. But at the same time, the first movie I ever made, the first feature I ever made, was $55,000 all in. And so it's like I'm not scared of going back and doing low budget things. And the technology is so good now that it's like, you're not really losing that much quality. You're just losing. There's some creature comforts that come like behind the scenes, and then you're just losing like I think just scope. You're losing more extras, and you're losing bigger set pieces and stuff like that. But like technology wise, it was really. Yeah. It wasn't, there wasn't any hindrances, and like I love that like on this movie we knew that we had to move really quickly. We didn't have that many days, and so coverage was going to be an issue. And so my DP Fleet Vanuel and I got together and said, listen, we're going to shoot in 4K, but we're going to edit the whole thing on a 2K timeline, and then I can like zoom in on shots. And so we do a lot of like faux zooms and crash zooms and stuff like that. But it was all stuff that we could do in post without having any degrade in the quality and stuff like that. And so it was cool. It's cool in that realm that you can do stuff like that for lower budget.
And really the fact smart. That you're able to pull it off with a lower budget too. They're like, oh, let's give this guy this many thousands less because he can do it with this.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you just do if the story fits and stuff like that. It's nice, And I think you have to just kind of own where you're at and own what the budget is and what your limitations are, and you swing for the fences, but you don't you never try to make like a cheap movie look really glossy or expensive, because then it always looks horrible. So you just have to be like, okay, what are we owning? What's the the tongue-in-cheek nature? I mean, even Funhouse, it was like we had this kind of license. Even the Asylum is very cartoony. Everything's very cartoony because we didn't have a ton of money for like sets and stuff like if you watch Hellfest versus Funhouse Massacre, you watch the trailer, it's like the same movie, but Hellfest just had like the production design was just like off the charts. Like they had like this kind of stuff. So we just had to own the fact that our movie was going to be cartoony and tonally just make it that way,
But I think that's what made me like it even more, to tell you the truth. I mean, at that point in time, you had all these like fest movies come out,
Sure.
Funhouse Massacre was actually first, but then you had Bloodfest and Horror Fest, and there's a American Fright Fest or something like that. But
Haunt now and stuff. I mean,
but at that point in time, I mean, it felt. I think out of all of them, I still Funhouse Massacre. I talk about it in reviews and all that stuff, but it just had a different feel to it. I liked it more, I guess, in my sense. But
awesome, yeah, I did too. I love that. I loved it.
Leo,
yeah, don't forget Carousel.
Oh yeah, Carousel.
I have not seen that one. I have
Well,
not.
you should, because the killer is a what is it? A carousel horse.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I can get on board with that.
and it's voiced by like this radio announcer guy. Like
it's Will Arnett. He does like BoJack Horseman.
The dude's got like a crazy good voice. It's ridiculous.
That's
but
cool.
yeah, and it's a static like horse that it's an actual like hard horse.
Yeah.
There's a sex scene in it.
That's amazing.
You got to track it down. It's worth the watch just because it's so crazy. And I give them credit for making it, because I'm like, you're really just you're going.
What was the Snowman movie where the snowman like grabs the girl in the shower? And I was
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost. Yeah, man. I was like, listen, now I've seen it all.
And then they made a second one with like little snowballs with little face and teeth and all that stuff.
I'm telling you.
But to tell you the truth, it's movies like that. I will tell you, some of the strangest movies, lower budget movies, are the ones I'm going to remember most, because it's just like, I can't believe they made a movie like that. There's other ones that are the cookie cutter ones that I'm like, I'm not going to remember it, or it's just going to sound like every other one. So you get a movie that's completely different, might be off the wall. I mean, The Greasy Strangler. Never going to forget that movie.
For sure, yeah.
So
even people like Peter Jackson with Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste and Brain Dead, it's like, that paved the way for him to ruin King Kong.
So absolutely.
Speaking of production quality,
Ruining King Kong. Yeah.
Okay, the spider webs.
Yeah.
How did you get them to look so realistic?
Okay, this was incredible. Our prop master, his name was Jeremy, and he was like a magician. So they had a hot glue gun hooked up to this mega air compressor, and that thing could just spit out these webs. So that is like actually like hot glue, and then it looked like spider webs. But that scene was it was crazy, man, because Candace would walk in, and it took, every reset was 45. It would be 45 minutes to get the room back to like scratch again, right? So basically, I would like start with Candace and be like, okay, walk 3 steps. Okay, going in, you're looking here, you stop here. Okay, stop. Now back up. And I would just have them repair like a little bit, and I'd wiggle my DP. He'd like army crawl underneath the webs and get over into like a different position. And it was just like this like dance of, so that we wouldn't have to reset the room all the time and stuff. But yeah, it's hot glue and an air compressor.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I could have sworn, like, you found like this really old place, and that was like the first thing you shot before you like ruined everything.
Yeah, no, the spider scene was not in the original script. There was this it was like an internet meme, and I can't remember, but it was these 2 trucks that were parked next to each other, and in between was this disgusting spider web with all these spiders, and it was like $50 to walk through this, and I'm like, that's my hell right there, And so I wanted to like create that in a movie, and again, like, you come to like budgetary reasons, and my thing was like, all right, how do we practically do this? Let's bring in the spider guy, and like we needed some real spiders, and we ended up unfortunately having to do everything digitally, but the guys did a nice job, and so I just kind of like pull it back and make it wide.
I'm terrified of spiders, and I was just like, ugh. As soon as I saw it, I was like, ugh. Like, there's no way. I'm like, if that was me, I just would like, all right, and just have a heart attack and die.
Oh, for sure, no doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt.
I've literally pulled over on the highway because there's been a spider in my car.
Oh yeah, I will definitely scream. I will scream if I
Have you seen the video of the woman that jumps out of her car while it's going? She was driving.
No.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's hilarious.
And they said there was a spider in the car, and they're like, "What? Why'd you do that?" Oh, there was a spider in my car. I jumped out.
Dude,
it's not my car anymore. It's the spiders.
When my wife and I lived up in Bakersfield, we have this, cool house up in Bakersfield, and we were like lucky enough to have like a hot tub, and so one night we were sitting in the hot tub, and I went to like turn the lights and the jets off after we were done, and I had my iPhone, and I like kind of like shined the iPhone over by the thing, and I see this big fat black widow sitting in her web, and I was like, oh, that's not good. And I just kind of panned my phone over, and there's a second one, and then a third one. Oh. And I was like, whoa, that seems like a pattern here. And so like I kind of like angle in, shut everything off, called the pest control the next day, and this dude shows up, and he starts spraying the outside of my house, and black widows were just falling from the roof, like just like literally down the wall. And he's like, I don't know how you two didn't get bitten. He's like, there's a lot of black widows in this. I was like, holy shit! We never saw one inside the house, but dude, when he started spraying, they came out of the woodwork at that house. It was crazy.
Oh, so gross.
It was gross.
Oh man, I'm never going to California.
They're around. They're definitely around.
Don't say things like that.
Meanwhile, like I live like in the middle of
I say you're like in brown recluse territory. You guys got the brown recluses out there.
Unfortunately. But anyways, just about that time, Leopold.
It is. So want to remind everybody we are talking about Camp Coldbrook.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Link is down below or up above. It comes out on VOD February 14th, and it's out for pre-order right now, DVD and Blu-ray right on Amazon. And the link's right down below. Definitely check it out. And we will kick things off with Andy. Where do you like people following you?
Sure, absolutely. I'm at Petrie, Andy Petrie, like the dish, Petri Andy on Twitter, and at director Andy Palmer on Insta.
Awesome. Tony?
You can follow me on Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews and unboxings and stuff like that. You can follow me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on Twitter, but I really don't use it that much. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And, of course, here on The Dorkening every Tuesday. Yo-yo.
You can find me at Boy Meets Phone on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, Yo Saint Laurent on those same social media channels. And, of course, you can find me here on The Horror Show. Kevin?
Yes. Knuckle on Twitter and Instagram every Tuesday night here with these lovely people. And I'm also part of, I do reviews with the 13th Wolfman as well on the audio part of the Wicked Horror Show channel thing. And I'm also part of Secret Underground Hideout and Black and White Fright and Leo Pond.
Yeah. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. But more importantly, head on over to thedorkening.com to find out all the shows on our network. Tons of them, including this one, and also The Dorkening, which we now record on Wednesdays. Some awesome stuff going on. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening. And we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.